Hello. So today, welcome to my channel. I want us to take a break from things like war and do a small study about our world, especially geographical aspects of our world. Now, I've been doing a lot of reading about our geography and our maps, and it's interesting to see that the North is actually not the North in reality, but the North was arrived at as a convention or as an agreement, whereby the leading countries in the world today, European countries and America, they prefer to be on top. Therefore, they allocated their country's location as the North. But that is not the reality. So here, you find that most readings show that what the North is not 100% automatic. Like this BBC website shows that maps have North at the top, but it could have been different. In fact, from most of these readings show that the current North actually was arrived at from about 1500th century there by the likes of Ptolemy and Akina Columbus, etc. But before that, what is called the South today was actually the North. So you're living in a world of propaganda where those who are in power currently, they want to make themselves to be on top of others. So Carolyn Williams, 2016, she explores this fact of the history that led to this orientation and discovers why it shapes how we see the world in more ways than we realize. So the North we have today is just conventional North, not real North. So imagine the world is based on some peoples who are ruling, their perception of how the world is. So the North most likely is in the South. To find that most world, this ABC, most world maps show North at the top, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. So I want us to have an open mind to know that the way the world is not the way it has always been. A lot of changes began to happen in the 1500s. So look at this map here. This is a map that shows maybe the reality, the upside down map, whereby the North is what we have on down, what we have in our modern maps as South. This is the North. And then the South is what we have as the current North. I know this can confuse people, but that's how it is. So where does the North up culture come from? So this tradition, what we have at the North today, actually comes from tradition, nationalism, religion, race relations, whereby those who are on power today, the colonizers, they want to make themselves to be on top. But in reality, that may not be the true North. So this is that map, actually. South America, Australia, Africa, these parts, they are the real North, according to most of the real researchers. And what we call the North today, like here, Europe, Asia, all this, even America, they're actually the South. So there's so much politics of geography, whereby those who are, people want to be on the North to show themselves as being in charge or as being powerful. But all along before, like 12th century, so most of what we have in the South today was in the North. So in the 15th century, Europe became the center of map making. So the North on top convention was reinforced. It also marked a great European expansion of global navigation, hence Mercator's rise in popularity. So Mercator is the European map maker who created the current map that shows Europe is on the north. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. So again, here is MacArthur's Universal Collective Map. So this MacArthur is trying to correct what we believe as north, which is wrong. So he has even put his own compass there. So what we have as the south today, like Australia, they're in the north. So you see Kenya is somewhere here. So you can say Kenya is in the north. South Africa is the northmost. And then like in Europe, Asia, America, Russia, they're in the south. I don't know what, it doesn't matter, but knowing the truth helps us understand the world better, much better. So it's like the world is operating on a lie, so many lies. So Europeans made the maps and they wanted to be on top. I repeat, Europeans made the modern maps and they wanted to be on top. You see. So Moroccan cartographer in the 11th century drew this map here. Also that shows that the north is this and the south is this. This looks like that part of Africa. These are all old maps that show that the north is what we have at the south today. This is Idris's famous Tabula Rogeriana, 11th century there. Yeah. These maps, this is now 15th century. So Europeans began to be in charge in the 15th century there. So Ptolemy was among the first to draw a map whereby Europe was now in the north, because Ptolemy was a European. And most other cartographers who followed later after him, they followed his example. Now let's come to Africa. So in Africa you find that even what we call as Upper Egypt, Upper Nile and Upper Egypt. Upper Nile is in Sudan and even Uganda, this Upper Nile. So and then Lower Nile is now Egypt. So if Upper Nile is in Uganda and Sudan, East Africa is Upper Nile and Upper Egypt, how comes that in the current map, what is supposed to be Upper Nile, where the River Nile comes from, is actually in the maps in the south of Egypt? Look at that confusion. So the maps we have today actually causes confusion, because the north is supposed to be on top even geographically. So River Nile starts from Uganda and then flows downwards to Egypt, which means that it is logical that the top part with high altitude is supposed to be the north. So Uganda is supposed to be northern and Egypt is supposed to be southern, because River Nile flows downwards. So because Uganda is Upper Nile, therefore it is north. And then Egypt is Lower Nile, therefore it is south. I think that makes sense. But the current maps that show that Egypt is located in the north, yet it is Lower Egypt, doesn't make sense at all. Then also you find that a country like Lesotho, which is in the southern Africa, Lesotho is reputably or allegedly Southern Africa, but it's the highest altitude country in the world. It sits on an altitude of 4,593 feet. It's the only independent state on the planet that exists above 1,000 meters. That's why it is nicknamed Kingdom of the Sky. So you find that generally, because the highest point in the world is in the south, what we call the south today, it means that therefore most likely logically, that the North, the real North, is what we call Southern Africa, Southern America, and Africa. All these are the North. Because these parts, South Africa, Lesotho, they're the highest points. And then most rivers flow down, like Nile. And even, I think, even Amazon, they flow downwards. So this part is the North. So I just want us to open our minds and know that most of the information we have today, that's a result of propaganda by the powers at B today, Europeans and Americans. They changed all these maps in the 15th century. So today was just an education to open our eyes about such geographical mischief. And I'd like to see your comments and opinions about this.